third graders, welcome back. You're here again for another lesson to learn about the human body. This is Dr. Davis, and I'm so glad to be with you today. Let's begin. So let's review. Last time we learned a lot about the nervous system. Specifically, we looked at the brain. There are three sections of the brain. The three sections of the brain are the brain stem, which is the lower part of which is also called the medulla, the cerebrum, and the cerebellum. We also learned the nerves are messengers that send information from different parts of the body through the spinal cord to the brain. So our nerves are extremely important. And the cerebrum is divided into, what was that word? Hemispheres, that's right. Each hemisphere controls the muscles of the opposite side of the body. So remember, if you are right-handed, the left side of your brain is what is more dominant or used more. And if you are left-handed, then yes, the right side of your brain is used more. All right, the medulla, or lower part of the brain stem, is responsible for controlling the body's many involuntary and automatic movements. And the cerebrum is responsible for controlling and managing language, memory, thought, sensation, and decision making. And the cerebellum is responsible for controlling the balance and coordination and making movements better each time they are practiced. So these three parts of your brain, once again, it helps you to be able to function and live and go about and do so many great things. So we are now on lesson 7, my friends. So your purpose for listening today, I want you to listen carefully to find out details about how the eyes work and how vision helps us to understand our world around us. So let's begin. Imagine a typical day. You're always looking around at people and books and screens and animals and cars and trees. Before crossing a street, you look both ways for traffic. What part of your body do you use to look at all of these things? Yes, your eyes, of course. Which body organ do you think helps your eyes to see? Yes, the wondrous brain. Human eyes work together with the brain in order to see. Of all of your senses, your sense of sight is the one you use the most. More than half of all the information you collect from your environment is received through your eyes. Then the information is sent to the back of your brain, sometimes called the mind's eye, where your brain interprets what your eyes see and creates a picture for you. Remember when we looked at the different parts of the skull? The cranium that houses your brain is only one part of your skull. Besides the 8 flat cranial bones, there are 20 additional skull bones. Some of these bones form the eye sockets, 2 holes that are the perfect size for housing and protecting your eyeballs. So, if you feel along here, you feel bone all the way around, all the way around. Those are your eye sockets, okay? So your eyes sit right in there. So those bones are very important, okay? Because it helps to hold your eyes in place, and also it does provide some protection. Before we take a look at an eyeball, let's look at what surrounds your eyes. There are other things that also play an important part in helping you to see. If you have someone near you, turn and look at your family member or your friend. Now, see the hairs above the eyes? What are they called? Right, the eyebrows. They're not just there to look pretty. They do have a purpose. Does anyone know what they do? Your eyebrows help keep dust and sweat out of your eyes. Now close your eyes. What is the skin that covers your eyes? Yes, eyelids. Your eyelids protect your eyes too, keeping your eyes moist by spreading tears over them. Tears are produced by tear glands located above each eyeball on the underside of the eyelid. These salty water droplets keep your eyes wet and help fight germs. Tear ducts are tiny raised bumps located in the inner corner of your eyes, containing openings no larger than a pinhole. These tiny openings are the drains for your tears. Your eyelashes, the short curved hairs growing on the edge of your eyelids, keep dust particles out as well. There are muscles all around each eye, 6 in all. They control your eye movements, allowing them to swivel in their sockets, looking up and down and side to side. Now, let's use your eye muscles. Up and down and side to side. Ooh, I get a little dizzy when I do that. Now we're ready to take a peek at the parts of your eyeball itself. Look at your neighbor or your friend or a family member. Look at their eyes once again. What shape is his or her eyeball? It may appear to look to you as if it's oval, but the eyeball is actually well named because it is round, just like a basketball. It looks oval because some parts are hidden behind the eyelids. What color were your neighbor or your friends or your family member's eyes? Did you notice? Look again. Does anyone know the name for the colored part of the eyes? Let's find out. Look at this picture together. The outer visible part of the eye includes the sclera, cornea, iris, and pupil. All of those are labeled right here. The white outer layer of the eye is called the sclera. The thin, tough, transparent tissue that covers the colored part of the eye is called the cornea, and it allows light to pass through. Together, the sclera and the cornea protect the eye from germs, dangerous particles, and damaging light rays. The colored part of the eye, the disc located just behind the transparent cornea, is called the iris. At the center of the iris is a black circle. Do you see it? Right here in the middle. This dark circular hole, called the pupil, varies in size as it regulates the amount of light entering the eye. The muscles of the iris control the size of the pupil, tightening to make the pupil smaller in bright light and relaxing to make the pupil larger in dim light. You can only see clearly if the right amount of light enters your eyes. Eyes are designed to focus light. Every part of the eye has a role to play, including the parts that lie inside the eyeball. So, what is inside the eyes? Liquid and jelly. That's right. Eyes are soft and hollow. The clear fluid and jelly inside them give them their round shape. There are 3 important parts inside the eyeballs that help you to see: the lens, the retina, and the optic nerve. So friends, this picture here is as if someone has taken the eye out, and this is the side of the eye, okay? On our last slide, we talked about these are the things that we see when we talked about the iris, the dark part of the eye, or the pupil, the dark part, and we talked about the white part. All of the parts that you see, that's labeled here. But this part, the lens, is behind the part that we see. So this is the side of the eye as if I was holding an eye in my hand and it's looking out that direction. So all of these things back here are back here. So you can't see behind that part. So that's a little confusing unless you understand that this is what's hidden and this is what we can actually see. In order to see, you need light. It can be natural light from the sun or electrical light from a bulb, but all seeing begins with light. The eyes see objects by seeing the light that reflects or bounces off objects. Imagine that you are looking at a house. The sun shines down on a house. The light from the sun bounces off the house and travels to your eyes. The light rays bend toward each other as they pass through the cornea, the transparent tissue that covers the iris. This bending is the first step in focusing the light. The bent light rays then pass through the pupil to a clear disc called the lens. The rubbery, flexible lens adjusts its shape in order to focus on near and distant objects, creating crisp images. As the light rays pass through the lens, they bend even closer, cross one another, and land on the cup-shaped retina of the back of the eye. An image of the house is formed on the retina, but because light rays are bent, the image appears upside down on the retina. The light-receiving cells of the retina transfer light rays into electrical energy so that the nervous system can send information to your brain via the optic nerve. The short, thick optic nerve is fixed to the back of the eyeball just behind the retina. Acting like a cable, it passes through a tunnel in the skull and connects the eyeball to the brain. The optic nerve carries messages to the brain to be processed. The brain recreates the image so that the house is now seen right side up. As the eyes work together with the nervous system, this whole process takes less than 1 second to complete. That's how fast your body is working. Eyes are so important to us that it is troubling when things go wrong with our eyes, preventing us from seeing as well as we like. 2 of the most common eye problems are nearsightedness and farsightedness. Have you heard those terms before? Let's find out what they mean. We know that people come in all shapes and sizes. Look around you. Legs and arms and faces and heads are all different shapes and sizes. So it makes sense that eyes vary in shape and size from person to person. The size and shape of the eye affects its ability to focus light and work well. In perfect vision, as light rays pass through the lens of the eye, they meet in just the right place to project a clear image to the retina. But sometimes the cornea or the lens is not quite the right shape to bend the light in the most effective way. Sometimes the shape of the eyeball affects how clearly images are projected on the retina. When these things occur, vision may become blurry. In nearsightedness, the eyeball's size in relation to the cornea affects its focusing power, so images are projected or focused in the front of the retina. Nearby objects are seen clearly, but distant objects are out of focus. In farsightedness, the eyeball's size affects the focusing power of the lens, so images are projected or focused behind the retina. Distant objects are seen clearly, but nearby objects are out of focus. Luckily, these problems can be corrected with glasses or contact lenses. So let's be clear. We said that with nearsightedness, nearby objects are seen clearly, okay? So if it's close to you, you can see it, but things that are far away, you have a hard time seeing those things. In farsightedness, you can see things well that are far away, but when things are up close to you, you have a hard time seeing those things. That's what I am. I have to use these glasses to see things that are up close. Before I go on, let's try a riddle or two. I reflect off objects and enter your eyes. I bend to help you see. Your sight depends on me. What am I? Light. Let's try another one. Objects appear upside down on me. I live at the back of your eyeball. And if I flip back to the pictures, you might be able to get this one if you don't remember. What am I? It's the retina. Last riddle. I am the part of the eye that has color. Sometimes I'm green, but I could be brown or gray or blue. What am I? Yes, I am the iris. Okay, it's time for me to go. Next time, we'll look at the smallest bone in your body. Can anyone predict where it is? I'm curious what you're thinking right now. Hint, it's a part of another sensory organ. So think about your senses, okay? Think about the organs that connect with those senses. That's your clue. And now, friends, thank you so much for listening. It is time for a brain break. So I need everyone to stand up. All right, so we're going to play a yes-no game, okay? I'm going to ask a question. If your answer is yes, I want you to run in place. If the answer is no, I want you to do squats. We're gonna get some blood moving, okay? This is yes, no. If your answer is yes, run in place. If your answer is no, do squats. Here we go. Do you have a pet? I don't have a pet. I would like one right now, but I don't have one. I see some people are running out there. Okay. Do you like to eat apples? I love apples. Run in place, run in place, run in place. Wonderful. Do you like snow? I think lots of children are running out there, running out there, running out there. Okay, stop. Do you like riding a bike? Well, some people aren't running out there. Stop. Do you like to eat broccoli? I love broccoli. I hope a lot of people are running out there. Stop. Do you like to play video games? I think some people are running, but I'm squatting because I don't like video games. All right, great job. I need you to have a seat. Let's get back to work. All right, so now let's think about the things that we have read about today. What are the visible or external parts of the eye? That means if you look at a person's eye, what are the things that you can see? I want you to think about that. Think about all of the things that you can see as you're looking at the camera right now. Or if there's someone with you, what are the parts of the eye that you can see? We can see the eye sockets, because that's back where our eyes are sitting. That's our eye socket all around here. We can see eyebrows. We can see eyelids and eyelashes. All of those are important because it helps to protect the eye. But then there's some other parts that we can see. Remember when I showed this picture of the eye? We've got the iris, the pupil, that dark part, the cornea, and then the sclera. All of those parts are the outer part that we can see just by looking in the mirror or looking at someone else's eye. That's what we mean by the visible or external parts. Our next question, what are the inner or internal parts of the eye? Because remember we said we can't see all the parts of the eye because it's a ball and it sits in here, so there's some other parts back here that you can't see. So these parts back here, what are the inner or internal parts of the eye? The optic nerve, because that's the part that connects with our brain, the retina, and the lens. Now you might say, well, the lens is right here, but technically all of these parts here are the outside. But the lens, notice the arrow, it's behind the pupil, okay? So to answer our question, the inner or internal parts of the eye is the optic nerve, it's back here, the retina, and the lens. Those are the three. Now, compare and contrast nearsightedness and farsightedness. Get that answer in your head. How did we describe nearsightedness and farsightedness? In nearsightedness, you can clearly see things that are close. They're near, but not things that are far away. And if you're farsighted, what does that mean? Yes, you can clearly see things that are far away, but not things that are close. That's the difference. And now let's go on for our word work for today. Our word is wondrous. In the read aloud you heard, and which body organ do you think helps your eyes to see? Yes, the wondrous brain. Can you say the word wondrous? Yes, wondrous. Wondrous means amazing, miraculous, or awesome. Example, Juan is a skilled artist who creates such wondrous paintings. What can you think about that's wondrous? How would you use wondrous in a sentence? I have a sentence. I remember when I went to the beach for the first time when I was a little girl, and I thought that all of that water and those waves were wondrous. It was amazing. It was awesome. How else could you use that? It may be something that you've seen. Like when I went to New York and I went up into the Empire State Building. That was wondrous because it was really, really tall. What else could be wondrous? You could have a pet, and your pet could have had babies, and now you have baby puppies. And those little baby puppies could be wondrous. They could be amazing, miraculous, or awesome. So what is our word for today? Wondrous. What part of speech is wondrous? Yes, it's an adjective because it describes things. Friends, you have done a great job today. We just completed lesson 7, and you learned about the eyes, that's right, and how you use your eyes to see. Next time, come back for lesson number 8. I look forward to seeing you then. Goodbye.